So the chapter opens up with Scopper going up that boat elevator thing from the underworld to the sun world with Hyruden's crew, explaining them what's going on up there. All the big three villains in this arc right now, Emu / Gunko, Summers, and Killingham, are trying to kidnap the main children of Elbaf as an attempt to force the warriors of Elbaf to fight for the world government, because right now, Erjua, as Emu said, is burning. It's actively being attacked by someone. We don't know who yet. Could be the Blackbeard Pirates, could be the Revolutionary Army, or could be option C, which could be a wild card. I don't know when we're going to find out. Maybe at the end of this arc next year, possibly. He's explaining how Gunko's arrow powers are leading them to the boats to which they're going to depart on, how Summer's thorn fruit powers are like wrapping thorns around them, but they're also invisible for some reason. I still don't know how that works, but I guess it just does. And how Killingham's sleep-tid nightmare monsters are guarding everything. So then they're like, well, I guess the quickest solution to this would just be going after the 3 ability users. They're also like, even if they're immortal, as they claim, there should be a way to take them down. We could try, trapping them or crushing them or even eating them. And Scopper doesn't even really say anything in response to this. He should be saying like, well, I mean, you could try, but you guys are all severely underpowered compared to them. And even if you were in a position to try and hurt them, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway because you need advanced Conqueror's Haki to even be able to do that, which none of you have here. And even if you did have Conqueror's Haki, like I said, you would need the advanced version, or what is implied to be. There's only like 4 people here who have Conqueror's Haki, 2 of which aren't even with us. Then the 4 is like Scopper himself, who is injured, and I guess he's not going to be able to fight at full capacity. Zoro, who is with them, but he's not, fighting anybody at this moment, but we'll get into what he's doing at the end of the chapter. And then Loki and Luffy, who are MIA right now. Previous chapter, Loki took down that Draugr monster, and we're not hearing what's going on with them in this chapter. We're not seeing them. They're probably going to show up in a few chapters when things seem really dire, but they wind up getting to the top and they see all of the sleep tits like going to war with, I guess, the giants. It's hard to really make out what's going on here, but we just see all the sleep tits. And interestingly enough, the Needhog dragon sleep tit is being emphasized here with its own individual panel and like Hyruden reacting to it. This could be for a few reasons. So first of all, this could mean that like this is alluding to what Loki's devil fruit is, the legendary devil fruit of Elbaf. It could be that he is the Needhog dragon. Or if that's not the case, then it could be alluding to what Emu truly is. The original celestial dragon, or the earth god, or just, the dragon that we see depicted on the Elbaf mural, which could be the former side. Still remains to be seen. And if it's not that, then it's just a coincidence that he's being emphasized here and it means nothing. But I mainly say that it could mean something because it's just being emphasized, and one of the sleep tits is Nika. So it's not like none of them don't represent anything. Like if Nika is here, then it stands to reason that the others could be equating to something else as well. You know what I mean? Then we see Dory and Bragi, who are still, of course, Dame Reversed, going after Yarl as per instructions of Emu, because Emu wanted them to kill Yarl so that they could become the kings of Elbaf. Then once Hyruden's crew here finds out about the children being kidnapped, half of them just start going after them. So now that group split up. And again, we're seeing the Straw Hats here doing nothing, just bound up by Gunko's arrow, along with Robin and Summer's thorns. Still not sure why Jinbei hasn't just hockeyed out of this by now, but okay. And speaking of Jinbei, he also mentions that Brook has gone somewhere, so he must be up to something. And it's like, why didn't Brook just tell them what he was doing? Like, he could have just been like, oh, hey guys, I'm gonna try to go over to where Gunko is, because I think I remember Gunko from back in the day. I came from like this kingdom or something. I was a guard there. I'm paraphrasing, but that's part of Brook's backstory. And I remember Gunko, right before Emu took her over, said that she might have remembered that I was Brook. So I'm gonna go try to talk to her and break her control from Emu. Not that he knows who Emu is, but for all we know, maybe he does. Because that seems to be a recurring thing after Wano. It seems like everyone just knows who Nika and Emu are now. Then we come back to Yarl's group, and he gets on a Denden Mushi and starts just revealing the truth to everyone about how Harold was trying to get Elbaf into the world government, but he wound up making a deal literally with the devil. Emu, and he got tricked by it, and then that led to his death. He doesn't say that Loki straight up killed Harold. He says that he was killed by the act of a demon. So he's like kind of lying here, but at the same time not lying. Kind of like a white lie, because even the giants hearing this say, wait, so Loki didn't kill our king? And it's like, no, he did. Loki definitely killed Harold, but not the way that you guys think that he did. So they could have just did this the whole time. And I know that Loki wanted this to be the way that it is. Also, Harold wanted the truth to be told anyway. So they could have just met in the middle ground like this. They could have just said, oh, hey, Harold was trying to do the right thing, but he was tricked by the world government, who is literally a satanic cult. So let's not trust the world government. Let's actively be against them. Not saying that we should go raid Mary Joie because that's stupid, but we should just be vigilant and just be against them and ally ourselves with others who are against them, such as like the Revolutionary Army or, you know, any kind of superhero messiah group that may show up to the island, such as the Straw Hats. Then we could have avoided all of this stuff that's been going on with, you know, them chaining up Loki and making him a pariah and all that stuff, because Elbaf needs Loki. Without Loki, they're all weaklings. Unless they get power clipped the way that Dory and Bragi were, but that's besides the point. Then we see the big three villains here, Emu/Gunko, Killingham, and Summers, and it's just establishing like, yeah, they're here, don't forget, these are like, you know, the big final fights that we're going to see in this arc. I'm assuming that Zoro's going to take on Killingham, and I mainly say that because we haven't seen Killingham really fight, and he is a holy knight after all. That's like the equivalent of like the Flying Six of the top world government, I guess. Like, if the Gorosei are like the Yonko commanders, then, you know, the holy knights would be like the Flying Six equivalent. Emu/Gunko will fight Luffy and Loki, I'm assuming. And then I guess Loki will get Dami Reversi'd by Emu, and then Emu will just leave, and then Luffy will have to fight Dami Reversi'd Loki. And then Summers will fight Sanji. And Summers has already been embarrassed twice, both in the flashback and in current day, so he might as well be embarrassed a third time by Sanji. And as for Dory and Bragi, I guess they're going to be warm-ups for some of the characters here, because coming into the end of the chapter here, we see that Zoro is behind them with Hyrule. And they're like, don't get caught up between them or it's over. Because that's like how the Dami Reversi stuff works with Emu's powers. Like, if you get caught between two Dami Reversi people, you will get Dami Reversi too, because that's like how the Reversi game works. I don't know why Emu's power like directly relates to the Dami Reversi game, which seems to be a thing in this world, because when Yarl's giving his speech, he straight up says, you really think some Thorn's illusions and this little Reversi game would be enough to make us bow? So it still remains to be seen how that works, or maybe it doesn't even work and Oda's just being cute about it. But Zoro says, don't worry, I have a plan to deal with that. What is this plan? We don't know yet. Sure, we're going to find out at the beginning of the next chapter, but I guess it just means going around them, not getting in the middle, and then just cutting them that way. Because I'm sure Zoro is going to cut them to some extent, since he knows that they can regenerate, or at least he's going to find out that they can regenerate, so that will be a way of circumventing Zoro actively hurting them or trying to kill them. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this chapter in the comments. More of a build-up chapter than anything. Maybe we'll get into some significant stuff in the next chapter, but let me know. And if you liked it, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.